I'm making this video for Ash, somebody I know on ECF. Basically, I'm just going to be showing the possible shorts on the Orion V2.1. Here it is in dry mode. This is a 3 wrap, by the way, a 2-3. You can see it's glowing. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, it's really hot. Some of the possible short areas, and this is what I use to remedy is moving the coil around whenever the wire's on there. Got to be real careful on this because the wick is really thin, it's small, so it does bend a lot, and the wire does cut into there. I don't know if you can see right now, but my top one is definitely pushing in too high. So that's something that I got to fix here pretty quick. But anyways, between the ground screw and the wire and the mesh, I want to make sure that's not touching, so I'll get this screwdriver in there and then I will twist it just like this, just to make sure that the separation is there. Okay, you don't want to break the wire, but just get it in there and move it around. And then there's medium tension on my spring at the moment. Sometimes I've tightened it all the way down, sometimes I've left it all the way at the top. However, right in the middle is your happy medium, so to speak. But then you want to go between the two washers, and I always leave a little bit of wire hanging off of there. It's probably like 4 or 5 millimeters. Okay. One thing that I will stress about Genesis coils is that, say your top is glowing, you could have a short up here, you could have a short down here, but one of the more common overlooked things is the water hose method. So if you're glowing up here at top and you're not glowing down below, then move the one down below and see what that does. Okay, that could stop your shorts. Put that paper around there, tighten it up tighter. It works a lot better with the DID than it does the Orion. But this one is kind of easy to adjust, I guess you could say. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the spring setup altogether and the washers, and I'm going to go to the hardware store and get one more nut, and I believe that's going to make that process a whole lot easier, because you do have to use quite a bit of tension on here. And I don't think these are stock washers. I think they're pretty small, so I can't get some pliers in there and bend the washer. Normally what I would have done, well, what I did with the Orion V2 was just take one washer and a pair of vice grips, took some pliers on the other end and just bent it just enough to make a ramp, so that whenever you went to put that wire on there, it had somewhere to start to. There was a gap there, so it was easier to put the wire in it and tighten it without causing the wire to go into the mesh too tightly. So to remedy that on this, I'm going to find a nut. If I can't find a nut, I'm going to go with just a little bit bigger washers so that I can create that ramp. Okay, hopefully this helps. My mesh is not touching anything in there. It's not touching the bottom. It's not touching the top of the tank either when it goes in. There is actual cigarette rolling paper in there, and it goes down all the way to the bottom of the top of the tank where the metal is. So it's completely isolated from the metal. So it just leaves a barrier there. I can use this mesh for a month, pull it back out, and I still have that rolling paper there perfectly intact. Okay, it only burns off where the wire is and where the mesh gets too hot, but it doesn't burn down any lower than the first wrap. Okay. All right, thanks.